Hey guys, hope you guys are having a great day, a great night. Wherever you are, it is about 1 in the morning for me right now. A little par usual for sure for me. I usually don't do this, but we got a great video coming here today for you guys, talking about my experiences with the 5090. This is a video. I'm gonna start off straight. A video that is inspired by a guy that I saw. He's a very small YouTuber, and one of his videos blew up and showed up on my feed. His name is Imaremi. I will at him down in the description below if you want to check him out. He has some amazing videos. His voice, I'm going to be completely honest, I love it. And he is the sole inspiration for me wanting to get into more of these videos, seeing that there's actually a demographic and a audience for these videos of just rambling and listening to people, because I fucking loved it. And so did about 18,000 more other people, and 432 people have subscribed, including myself. I want to give them a straight shout out. I don't know if this video will get any traction, but I just want to start that out and give that shout out where credit is due. And starting off great out here, we have a Sprecher root beer. So we are going to take this guy, open it, and we're going to get straight into this because this is a little bit of a longer video, and I am so sorry if you hear my cats. I got 3 kitties, and they have been alone for a majority of the day, and I only got back recently from family events, so they're a little spazzy. Please don't mind it. I got some YouTube off in the back, and I got plenty of reviews of upcoming tech stuff that we are going to delve into. So, okay, guys. So let's take a sip real quick. Take a drink with me. Whatever you need to get. Go get some popcorn. Whatever you would like. So, my thoughts on the 5090. I didn't buy it straight out of the of January. Actually, in January, I was planning on getting a 5070 Ti, which that was my original thought process until I realized that chances of me were getting them were very, very low. And it did so happen that, of course, I didn't get it. I tried for the Newegg Shuffle and I was not selected. So unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to try out that 5070 Ti, but I think I got myself a little something better, which I went for back in January, February. I bought myself a 7900 XTX. It was my first AMD graphics card. I was upgrading from a 3060, the 12 gigabyte version, and I upgraded to the 7900 XTX Nitro Plus. That was one beautiful, absolutely beautiful card. Nothing is ever going to match the look of it. I still agree to this day that it is the second best looking card, and I would say that the only one that tops that is the Asus ROG Ice version of the 5090, which that is a hefty price. That is not the version that I have right now because I did not feel like spending an additional about $1,000 extra on that version of the card. I would have gone with the MSI Supreme, the liquid version, but I do not have enough space in my case. I have the H6 Flow. I had the Trix Panoramic 360 AIO, and that is a whole discussion I will get to in a little bit as to why I don't have that currently. I forgot exactly which AIO this is. It's not an AIO, it's an air cooler, but it does an extremely well job at cooling, and it is meant for only AMD, and it has a display. It displays everything that I need for temps. It cools it honestly better than the Trix would. Unfortunately saying that, but it is also a 360 AIO, that it has an OLED display, so they're really going for more aesthetics. It still cooled down very well. I had an i9 12th gen at the time, but it would still reach temperatures of 100 degrees even though I used the best thermal paste and I applied it extremely well. So it's not a fact that I didn't use enough thermal paste. I actually used a little bit extra than I should have. Which caused some problems, which is why I currently upgraded to a 9800 X3D instead of just an easy swap over from the i9 12th gen to an i7 14th gen, which is honestly a much better upgrade. But of course, I am getting sidetracked because we are talking about the fucking 5090. So, excuse me from that, but the current version of the 5090 that I bought about a month and a half ago, somewhere around a month and a half ago to 2 months ago now, it's about been, is the MSI Vanguard 5090, and it is a beast at cooling. I'm going to be completely honest. I expected this to have higher temps than it usually does. It averages around gaming around 60 degrees Celsius. I have not seen it go over 67 degrees Celsius. I think the max I saw was a 67 degrees Celsius, and that was it running for hours on some intense games on ultra settings. And, it's to the point where I only use ultra settings. There's no point as to using anything lower than it because I only have a 240 hertz monitor. I have a Samsung G6, I believe it is, if that's the correct one. The 240 hertz 1440p OLED monitor, that was a pricey one too, but they're only about $650, $600, so it wasn't the worst in the world. But it is an amazing monitor. And I have a lot of different reviews that I can do. I'm going to end up doing one on that. I also have, if you guys would like to see, which I am going to do regardless, is these brand new $600 Nova Elite, the Nova Arctis Elite, or Arctis Nova Elites. My bad, I'm getting all mixed up. But these things were a whopping $600. So, $630 after tax, I believe it was. Bought them from Amazon from the Steel Series, and it has been amazing because I went from the Corsair Virtuoso Maxes and those great quality, sounding quality, horrible comfort build. Too top heavy, it would give me a headache after 15 minutes of using them. It made me not want to use headphones ever again. It made me just want to use earbuds or these Steel Series speakers that I have. So, but this 5090, I'm finally going to get into the specs. We're going to start off with we talked over the cooling. Cooling is great on this card. This Vanguard, it looks beautiful. It is massive. This is bigger than my head, taller than my head. This thing is about this big, and it is a beefy graphics card. But it is so spectacular on everything that it is doing. I don't think if you have a 7900 XTX, if you're thinking about upgrading to a 5090, if you have the money, go for it. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I sold mine to my cousin. He has it. If I ever want it back, I can just go to him, and I can swap it out and whatnot, and you can use my 5090 for however long he needs. But that 7900 XTX looked amazing. Not saying that this card doesn't look amazing, but the aesthetics are, it's iffy. I have an all white build and it's a black card, so it's it doesn't really particularly match it, unfortunately. But I'm not really too picky with the aesthetics as the current moment sits. I can focus on the aesthetics later on getting back my Trix Panoramic 360 AIO. I don't use that one anymore, just for the sole fact that I either didn't I'm pretty sure I received it, but I somehow lost it has a certain adapter, which is the stupidest thing ever, and it would have been a little bit of a sketchy way to get it, where I had to send money to them via Venmo, that it would not allow me to, because I'm assuming it was out of the country and they are stationed out somewhere in Asia, I believe it is. And it was very sketchy the way that they had it set up, and I called them to get it set up. Even though it has a 6-year warranty, they said that it is my fault that I lost it, so I would need to pay for the shipping for it to be shipped out to us, which was fine until they didn't have it listed on the website, or have a exact way of contacting, and I would have had to direct send it through their bank or via the Venmo, and the Venmo didn't work, and that was just kind of my sign to just be like, all right, maybe just wait till they come out with a newer version that's a little bit better at their cooling, or something that's a little bit more slick that they have, because I know that they'll come out with another thing this upcoming year. They will. They'll come out with a new version. They'll come out with something, and I'll get something good. But for the current moment, this air cooler works great. And I do miss the aesthetics, but you can't be greedy. You can't be greedy when you spend so much money on your computer, and you upgrade your CPU. So that's fine, but it works out great with the 9800 X3D. If you're thinking about getting a 5090, I would not recommend you get an i9 12th gen. I would get one of the 13th or 14th gen i9s, or an i7 if you're considering getting a 5090, because it was a little bit bottlenecked by the CPU in certain situations on 1440p specifically. 4K, it probably wouldn't have been bottlenecked, but at the same time, I prioritize my frames a little bit more. So going over to 1440p would have reduced those frames. It would have looked slightly better and cut those frames in half. I think that 1440p personally is the perfect sweet spot. It does great on the 5090. It does great on the 9800 X3D. I'm not doing too much with productivity, which is why I swapped from Intel to AMD, ultimately, because Intel it can be a little bit better for a lower price now, officially. When it comes to productivity, it's better on a budget. Well, AMD does a better job of everything. They really have their prices set pretty damn high. So if you want to focus on productivity, you can get it for cheaper with AMD, but you're not going to get that gaming capabilities, because if you want the gaming and productivity capabilities, that's really expensive. If you want to prioritize gaming, it's in that middle section. It's not on the low section, but it's in the middle. For a 9800 X3D, which is pretty damn pricey, you can get something that's around that performance level for about $100 less. You don't need the 9800 X3D unless you have a 5090. I'm talking about other cards. You don't need this 9800 X3D unless you have like a 5080, 4090, 5090. Even with the 7900 XTX, you don't need anything extra fancy. I had an i9. I got that for $285, which it's not saying it's cheap, but it's also really it is a really good CPU. I didn't have any complaints about it besides for it running a little hot. It didn't kill itself at all. It didn't have bad performance. You can do some tweaking with it too to undervolt it, and it would work a little bit better, but I didn't feel like tweaking it and going through the troubles of doing all that when it still worked just fine. It would really only reach that 100 degrees Celsius level while loading the games, but then it'd lower down to 70. But this 9800 X3D, it averages about 50 to 65 degrees Celsius, about the same as the GPU. And I haven't seen it go on over 75 degrees Celsius. And that is saying a lot on how it is better than than the i9. And dude, that is insane. So their cooling on AMD it's nice. But so let's talk about some gaming real quick, about the 5090's gaming capabilities. You can run anything, absolutely anything. 32 gigabytes of VRAM. There's never a shortage of VRAM ever. You're never bottlenecked by your VRAM on anything. You can run everything, any game that you think you can think. You can run at ultra, and get it over the 60 FPS. Maybe not Alan Wake if you're not using upscaling, but let's be honest here. If you got the 5090, I think about it like this. I want to use upscaling. If I was on a 7900 XTX, I would not want to use upscaling really, because of the input. But with DLSS, on the games that you need the ultra for, and that you want them to look beautiful on those Solar Play games, you will not notice the input lag. I have tried upscaling on a 7900 XTX, and I saw, and the 3060 too, especially the 3060. 3060 is getting outdated. I 100% saying that, and it's very apparent on AMD's side, even with the 24 gigs of VRAM. That was amazing, but with their upscaling, you could notice on certain games, and when it got to a certain level of quality, you could notice that there was input lag. Just because it was trying to use upscaling. Though it would show more frames, you would notice that lag. There was lag there, but with the DLSS and frame generation, both those combined, even in games, I will still not feel it. And I know they're fake frames, and I know that that's a controversial thing. But personally, I was so against it, and I was hating on it so much until I tried it, and you just don't notice it. All you notice is that the game is smoother. The game doesn't lag. The game performs extremely well, and the upscaling looks 10 times better than it did on FSR 3.1. And that is just, it is a night and day difference, 100% on so many games. But here's the thing. Is it what I paid for my Nitro? I bought it at a bad time. You can get them for about $1,000 right now, or maybe even under $1,000 used on eBay. I was picky, and I wanted the Nitro Plus, and I wanted the specific version because I need the best. Of course, I need the best version of the card. But that card ran me used back in February about $1,300 after tax, is what that card ran me. And now, looking back on it, it's overpriced, yes, because you can buy that card for about $200 cheaper now than what I bought it. It's still about $1,000 worth it because it has the 24 gigabytes of VRAM, and it is one of, it's on par with the 9070 XT. And some games it outperforms, some games it underperforms, but it's right around that spot for a little bit more VRAM. And 24 gigs of VRAM is awesome. It just doesn't have that FSR 4, which kind of blows. But there are some things that I've seen where you can get FSR 4 to go back on older cards. Some people have done that before. So I don't know. I didn't try that out. I know that only came out recently. People only got that happening recently. So If anyone has any input on that and has actually done that, that would be great. Let me know that in the comments. But I'm going to be completely honest. I think that card was worth it. And for this card being almost $2,000 more, especially right now, I bought it on a sale for about $2,500, and China, they just bought a bunch of 5090s, specifically MSI 5090s. So now this card, I checked on Amazon, it is worth $3,100 instead of $2,500, and that is just absolutely nuts that it is that much more because of a shortage on them. So it's pretty much as the Asus cards, and that's just fucking nuts. I'm gonna be honest though, its price point for the performance over that 7900 XTX it's not that noticeable. I could run any game at Ultra on the 7900 XTX with a good CPU. The i9 12th gen, and that's not even the best card CPU out there. It's not even AMD. And I could still run any game I wanted to on high and ultra with pretty much over 100 FPS. Any game that I really wanted to would be over 100 FPS, over at least 60 bare minimum. And that's on ultra. In some games, you don't even need the upscaling for. You didn't need any upscaling. That I seen that a lot more in AMD than I did in NVIDIA. And that could just be me not have been paying attention. But I know that AMD goes for more of that raw performance, and it is very apparent that the raw performance was amazing on it. The raw performance is better on this, don't get me wrong, because it is better. It is a hefty price of around $3,000 right now, which I can't believe I bought it. I kind of regret it, and I've considered downgrading to a 5080, but this guy, Amarami, he after hearing his reviews on the 5080, it would be better price point for me to downgrade to a 5070 Ti or go back to or downgrade to a 9070 XT. Because at that point you don't need to worry too much about different things. You'd save a lot of money. I'd get a lot of my money back. I'd still enjoy games at ultra and high settings. You can max out games. Yeah, would I get as much FPS? Of course not. With the frame generation and whatnot, you're not gonna get it. Their frame generation is not as good. Their upscaling is almost getting there. It is almost getting there on par with DLSS, with FSR 4. But that is a whole different discussion, and maybe I might have two different cards eventually to just test them and maybe give one away if this channel gets big. I think that would be really cool. Give back to the community. That's something that I've wanted to do for a while. I got a lot of different reviews that I've got to come out with soon. And it's pretty cool. And my whole thing, and shout out to you if you're watching this, Amarami. I did comment on a couple of your videos asking you if you would be willing to possibly debate me on some different parts that you've gone through. You've had a little bit more experience with GPUs. I know that for a fact. I only got my first computer built about 4 years ago with an i5 12th gen and a 3060. I was on Xbox for all my life until I could afford one. To a PC. My parents wouldn't let me buy one for a long time, so But we're gonna try and wrap this up. This is reaching around 25 minutes right here, right now. But honest opinions on the 5090. Do I think you should buy it? If you are an enthusiast like I am on games like The Last of Us Part 2, and all these, like Alan Wake 2, these upcoming games that are GTA 6 isn't going to be out for a while, so don't even consider that. By the time that GTA 6 comes out, I don't remember if it's a year gap or a 2-year gap, but by the time that rolls out, the 60 series will be coming out. So at that, don't even bother getting a 5090 if you're thinking, oh, I'm gonna get it for GTA 6. The 60 series will be coming out, and you will probably be able to get a better card if you are able to get it at retail price MSRP. So I wouldn't count on it, and the 50 series will significantly come down, and even the 40 series. I would recommend the 40 series if you're thinking about GTA 6, because by that time, 40 series will be cheap, and they still perform fucking amazing. So I that's my personal opinion on it. And if you're an enthusiast like me and you have the money to go and spend it, go for it, dude. It is an awesome card. It is an awesome experience watching these things, geeking out over it. It is fun. But it hurts the bank account. It hurts the bank account significantly, and you can get amazing performance on so many different cards, like the 9070 XT for like under $1,000, dude. You can find 7900 XTX, 24 gigabytes of VRAM. You don't need any more than 24 gigs. 32 gigs you don't need that. You don't. I'm going to be completely honest. You don't need it. And you're Jay chilling. You can get it for under $1,000 right now. You can get it for under $1,000. And 5070 Ti's, I believe you can get those for under $1,000 too. Those are my picks for what I think you should go to. 4080s, I think those are still over $1,000. If you can find a 4080 for under $1,000 over a 7900 XTX and you like ray tracing, then I would recommend getting that. But this is really only for people who are enthusiasts of ray tracing and those beautiful games. If you want to max those out and you want the best. But you got to realize, if you're getting in 5090, you got to upgrade your CPU. You got to upgrade your motherboard. You got to do stuff that can handle that level. You got to upgrade your RAM. You got to at least have DDR5 if you want to actually experience the true potential of the 5090. I'm going to be truly honest. It is that overpowered, and that it's just, there's a lot to it. But that's gonna wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope this could help somebody out there making their decision if they want a 5090. I appreciate you. I'm Remy for inspiring this video. I hope you check this video out. And maybe you can debate me. That'd be awesome. I'm looking for other small content creators to debate on different things. I'm kind of getting into that debating. I don't want to be into debating politics, really. That's kind of not my forte. I'm not too diverse in that. But I am pretty versed in the technology space, and that is all I really read and listen to and do every day. It is always my everything. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll check you guys in the next video. I'm going to try and upload at least a couple of times a week if I can. Keep you guys up to date on different topics of what's going on in the world with the tech space. College is slowing down for me right now, so I appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys in the next one.